What is going on, guys? It's the Variety Film Brothers. I'm Andrew.
I'm Thomas.
And I'm super excited because in today's video we're going to be ranking all 12 Star Wars films, and just like our MCU ranking video, we each have our own list, so we're going to see how they compare and contrast with each other, so super excited to see that because I haven't seen yours, you haven't seen mine. Alright, so the way we're going to break down our lists is we're going to do them in 3 different parts in increments of 4 movies. So we're going to have a bottom 4, middle 4, and top 4. Thomas, give us your 12 through 9.
Alright, and number 12 is The Last Jedi. Number 11 is Rise of Skywalker. Number 10, The Force Awakens. And 9, Solo.
Very interesting. So a big sequel fan, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so going over to my list, at number 12 I have Rise of Skywalker, 11 Last Jedi, 10 The Force Awakens, and 9 Solo. So we have the exact same bottom 4, except we have Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi switched around. So we've talked about this before. I think we knew that about our lists already, and we've kind of not really debated, but talked about it, because, I mean, there's not really much to argue about. They're both at our bottom 2 spots. Clearly, we both dislike them quite a bit. And really, the thing that puts Rise of Skywalker at number 12 for me at dead last is just what it does to the overall story and narrative. Like, they brought back Palpatine, they said the Death Star basically wasn't destroyed, they took away Anakin's sacrifice. It's not a good movie on its own terms, but, like, the things that it does to the saga are just horrendous. But why do you have Last Jedi in your last place?
The reason why I have it is because it's really boring.
It is extremely boring. Like, they're both terribly paced, but Rise of Skywalker moves so crazy fast, so it's at least a little harder to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I totally understand. Last Jedi is so hard to get through.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. And then we both agree on The Force Awakens and Solo. Solo, I don't think, is nearly as terrible as the sequels. It's just not a movie I like to watch.
Yeah.
Alright, so now that we've got the bottom 4 out of the way, Thomas, give us your middle 4.
Alright, number 8 is Rogue One. Number 7 is A New Hope. Number 6, The Clone Movie. And number 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay. Very interesting. We had 2 of the same ones here. 2 of the same ones. But very different. At number 8 for me, I have the Clone Wars movie. Number 7, Rogue One. 6, The Phantom Menace. And 5, Attack of the Clones. Despite my Attack of the Clones shirt. I was hoping people could see that, and maybe I could misdirect them into thinking I was going to put that at number 1, because, oh my god, would people would have a field day trashing me for having Attack of the Clones at number 1. But, so break yours down a little bit. Why were those your picks?
Well, Rogue One is just a mad movie.
I agree. We actually recently rewatched this one in preparation for this video, because it's one that neither of us had seen in quite a while. And I was actually hoping to like it more on this rewatch, and I liked it a little bit less, honestly. I don't hate it. It's fine. It doesn't do anything that, kicks the story in the balls or anything. I can't get behind any of the characters, so, like, when they're having these super emotional moments, I don't find myself very invested. But there are some good shots, some good visuals, so...
Yeah. I just find it really hard to make a full movie out of one side quest.
Right, exactly. Just to explain one, like, plot hole from A New Hope.
It's not really a plot hole, but
right,
it's whatever. The reason why I have A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back is because they're kind of like the same thing, but like...
They're very similar, like,
yeah.
in a lot of ways. So I can kind of see that.
But, like, I put, like, The Empire Strikes Back just a little more higher because it does go into Luke a little more. And, like, the Clone movie, I just really like the clones.
Oh, yeah,
just
dude.
Just to see them, it's just a great joy, so...
Oh, yeah, we're big Clone fans, big Clone Wars fans here, so anything with clones in it is gonna just get bonus points from us. So, the Clone Wars movie I had at number 8, and I love it, but it's very clearly just like 3 or 4 episodes of the show randomly stitched together to make up a last-ditch movie, and that really shows. And it's a bummer that those were the episodes that got picked, because there are some fantastic Clone Wars episodes that would make for an amazing movie that would probably end up at number 1 on my list, if I'm being completely honest. But the episodes that they were working with there just weren't that great, and I think it just, like, it kind of doesn't feel like a movie. It just feels like an episode that won't end.
It also is really bad pace, too. Like, it's so quick.
Exactly. It's kind of a mess. I still love it, but... And then Rogue One, like we said, I just kind of find it meh. The Phantom Menace, I have at number 6, and I really love this one. Like, it has some fantastic stuff in it. Darth Maul, Duel of the Fates, fantastic, but you really got to sit there and wait for it for quite a while. You got to sit through some not so great stuff. You got to sit through Jar Jar stepping in crap to get to it. So it's it's a journey, that movie,
Mhm.
but the end is worth it.
Yeah.
And Attack of the Clones at number 5. If you guys watched our Attack of the Clones variety discussion, which you probably didn't because it's almost a year old at this point, I love Attack of the Clones like crazy. If this were like a personal list, like which one you go back and like to rewatch, this would probably be like number 3 for me. Just has such awful dialogue in some
Yeah.
scenes. It's really not great, and some of the action and visuals just haven't aged very well. I still think it has a lot more good in it than bad. Like some people say that Attack of the Clones is the worst Star Wars movie, and I will never understand that opinion. But yeah, so that makes up my middle portion. Thomas,
Yeah.
what is your top 4?
All right, and number 4 is The Phantom Menace. Number 3, Attack of the Clones. Number 2, Return of the Jedi. And number 1, Revenge of the Sith.
All right, very interesting. Very
Yeah.
big prequel fan.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure, for sure. But I mean, like, honestly, a lot of people from our generation are. We're kind of like seen as like the prequel, like
Yeah.
nerds of
Yeah.
the Star Wars fan base, and I'm totally fine with that. So for my top 4, I have at number 4, The Empire Strikes Back. Number 3, A New Hope. Number 2, Revenge of the Sith. And number 1, Return of the Jedi. So we're both gonna get flack for having The Empire Strikes Back down so low. And immediately when they see you don't have episode 5 at number 1, they're like, wow, you are such a fake fan, dude. You're not real. You're some kind of bot or something.
Yeah.
But The Empire Strikes Back, I love it. Obviously it's at number 4. It's at the top section of my list. I really like it, but it's just always felt really slow to me, and not in a way that's like interesting like all the time. Like it still has some really interesting stuff in it, but like I feel like if you could just trim maybe 15 minutes off that movie, you could just make it a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more focused. But other than that, it has some iconic stuff in it that I think is really great. A New Hope, I've just always really loved that movie. I love how simple it is. I think it's easy for anyone to watch. Like, I recommend watching in chronological order if you're already a Star Wars fan, but I do think that release order for a new fan is probably a better idea. Because The Phantom Menace is a hard movie for people to watch for the first time, and I think A New Hope is just a simpler entrance into Star Wars. And then number 2, Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith is just, it's so epic, dude. It is so grand, and it, like, for a long time, it was at my number 1. Only maybe 2 or 3 years ago was when I started to really question that. And Return of the Jedi, the reason it takes number 1 for me is because it is just so emotional. Like, and Revenge of the Sith is too, don't get me wrong, but like Return of the Jedi wraps up the true Skywalker saga to me. It wraps up Anakin's story, it wraps up Luke's story, and that's why that has to take the number 1 spot for me. So just to break it down for you guys again on my list, number 12, Rise of Skywalker, 11, Last Jedi, 10, Force Awakens, 9, Solo, 8, Clone Wars movie, 7, Rogue One, 6, The Phantom Menace, 5, Attack of the Clones, 4, The Empire Strikes Back, 3, A New Hope, 2, Revenge of the Sith, and 1, Return of the Jedi.
Mine is number 12, Last Jedi. Number 11, Rise of Skywalker. Number 10, The Force Awakens. Number 9, Solo. Number 8, Rogue One. Number 7, A New Hope. Number 6, The Clone Movie. Number 5, Empire Strikes Back. Number 4, The Phantom Menace. Number 3, Attack of the Clones. Number 2, Return of the Jedi. And finally, number 1, Revenge of the Sith.
All right, guys, and that wraps up our movie rankings. And as much as we both love Star Wars, I think we're both going to be a little refreshed to be taking just a small Star Wars break on the channel. Just focus on a few other things for a little bit, because we've been on a Star Wars streak for like a couple months straight now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good to take a little bit of a different direction. But don't worry, us being as huge Star Wars fans as we are, you know, there's going to be more Star Wars content for sure, but there's so much more we want to explore. So look forward to that, guys, for sure. And I think that's going to wrap us up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you've made it all the way to this point. Be sure to like and comment down below, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace!